Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Sammy. Today's topic is love. Have you ever really pondered on love and considered the complexities of its unconditional meaning? Being that love is something we all strive for, that we endeavour to attain, a much talked about theme with family and friends. Love is often encapsulated in stories, entwined in poetry, in songs and music, and etched in history. It's a desire we hope to find. It soothes our soul. The yearning to find it is intrinsic to humanity, and no matter how we may try to deny it at times, the longing remains. Since I've become aware of my spiritual awakening, love has been the resonating theme. I've come to learn so much about love through the relearning process of who I am. I feel driven to share this knowledge with anyone willing to listen or seeking love. I honestly believe love is the answer to every problem that exists, and so I share what I've learnt intuitively and through my practice of writing, where I connect with the collective consciousness that is my guides, God, Source and love. Love may evoke emotions, but its unconditional nature has become so clear to me, and because of this, I strive to live my life with love as my guide. So what is love? Well, for me, it is ineffable, which means words simply are not enough to capture its description. It's more than words. We can use words, but nothing encapsulates the vast, pure divinity of it. Love evokes emotions that are joyful and blissful. We are fully accepting and have no expectations when we are feeling love. It's almost as if we're encompassed in a bubble where nothing else matters. There is no concept of past or future. There is only now, and it is a truly beautiful, exquisite feeling. It is unconditional love. It is energy. Through my learning, it's obvious to me now that we as humans have been conditioned and misguided regarding love. Intentionally? I think maybe, but I'm not here to preach a conspiracy theory. I wish to spread love, not fear or anger. But let me just say that when we understand love and apply this to our life, it sets us free from the fear that we have also been overwhelmingly conditioned by. Freedom releases the chains that have bound us. When we embrace love, the freedom that is born releases control. In most of my videos prior to this and my book, The Key, I talk about loving yourself. This is the key to everything. Loving ourselves first and foremost. When we are born, we instinctively seek love, and for many, love is given. But what about those babies that are born and rejected or abandoned? Is this a case of love being denied, or love that was never discovered? Or is it in fact a trauma created by our own conditioning that we adults have also undergone? Do we presume the lack of love as a trauma and pass this on to the little one by replaying their lack of love verbally? Could it be the trauma is in fact the environment despite the love or lack thereof? Through conditioning that has been handed down through time, we place such an importance on love, and that love comes from external sources. First and foremost, this should come from our parents, and more specifically the birth mother. Is this expectation maybe creating trauma? This is speculative, but it derives from the conditioning that we need to find love externally, and that first source should be the mother. Love from our parents is something many of us strive for subconsciously, and we form patterns during our life that when we finally reflect back, we can see how we developed these and why they've occurred in the first place. The underlying factor that is found when delving back is lack of love for oneself. Because we didn't know to love ourselves first and foremost, instead we believed we needed to seek love externally, and we believed that this should happen from our parents. Society condemns those parents who fail in their duty of care and love giving to their children. Yet these people are also unable to give love because they too do not know love for themselves. Our expectations on love are in fact an oxymoron. Love has no conditions, and as I stated earlier, love has been conditioned into us setting us up to fail. The love we seek is not found externally, it is within. We hold the key that we look and long for. Do we know this when we are born? Maybe. Maybe some babies do. Maybe that's why some babies are content and settle easily. I don't know for certain, but it makes sense. Certainly I'm sure it is true also for babies in the womb, listening to the outside environment. When a baby is not wanted, maybe the conditioning begins in the womb. Nevertheless, if we were to teach our children to love themselves and accept themselves and be grateful and confident, I believe they would have a greater chance to create and follow their dreams. We as parents are so conditioned to believing that these young beings are ours as if they were a possession, and that they should do everything we expect of them. Instead of nurture their essence, we often dictate. Instead of guide them to their development, we often lead and we reprimand when they get out of line. Imagine if instead of telling stories of knight in shining armour that's coming to save the damsel in distress, we told our children stories that involved the discovery of love for yourself and the respect this brings. Imagine the confidence children could possess. Imagine if we talked about the human ego to children so that they could recognise how their minds work instead of having to have a midlife crisis that led to an awakening. Imagine if these impressionable little people grew up knowing the importance of love of self rather than growing up thinking they have to find it externally. The world would be a completely different place. Of course, not all would take this on, just as many adults still don't grasp the unconditional nature of love. The conditions that we place around love have nothing to do with love. They have everything to do with the individual and the experiences they have gone through in their life. When we think of external love as our source of love, we often place our expectations alongside it. For instance, we may say we want to fall in love with a person who doesn't cheat on us. We then meet someone, we enjoy their company, and we think we fall in love with them. But when we discover that they've cheated, we often deny our love for them. That denial is resistance that we've attached due to an expectation, which is a condition. In truth, both people should look within. Cheater to see what issue they have that creates the pattern that developed this behaviour. It is in fact a coping mechanism to protect themselves from pain and suffering, but it actually is resistance to love, their own love. Maybe, as they look back, they'll find there are abandonment issues or maybe some other trauma stemmed from childhood. The person continually being cheated on should also look back to see why this pattern occurs to them and why they attract it. There is no solution in blaming the other person. This is denial of self, denial of your own actions, even if you were cheated on. When we drop blame, we can see more clearly into our own experiences, and from this we can learn. We can heal, forgive, which becomes acceptance and transmutes as love. We can only change ourselves, so we should focus on ourselves. When we love ourselves and accept ourselves, we don't need validation from someone else. That's not to say we won't love someone. What we actually do is share our love. When we love ourselves, our love within, which is the essence of us, it is that part of us that connects us with God or Source, love, whatever you want to call it. When we love ourselves and remove the issues that we've developed because of our experiences and because we didn't know our own love, removing those issues and rectifying how we think and behave allows our love to flow and we shine with our essence. Life presents ongoing experiences that may appear as tests, and it is our faith in our own love that is the trophy. To find your love for yourself is not arrogant or narcissistic, because love of self is love of essence. It is realizing we are worthy. I like to explain it as two separate beings, that we are our essence, not the labels we attach to our physical form. This love, the essence of us, is everything we thought we had to find in another, when all of the time our love has been patiently waiting within. How do we find our love? Well, We have to change the way we think. We can do this by beginning with affirmations and reminding ourselves we are worthy. We can look into a mirror and speak to ourselves and tell ourselves we are loving and we deserve love. We can meditate and repeat loving affirmations. We can also do the hard work, which involves taking back control of our thoughts. Have you ever noticed how negatively you talk to yourself? From the smallest things like mocking yourself or calling yourself stupid or dumb, from looking in the mirror and noticing only what you perceive as your faults. Take a conscious approach to your thoughts. Try to lead with love instead of hurt or anger or blame. Begin by becoming aware. You can trace back to see where your issues stem from. And yes, we all have them. Are you codependent, which means lack of love for yourself? Are you insecure? Lack of love for yourself. Are you suffering with depression, which is fear-based, which means lack of love for yourself? Love of self is the greatest gift we can discover, because when we love ourselves, we develop faith in ourselves, and faith overcomes fear. Fear creates doubt, which is insecurity, anxiety, loneliness, etc. Love sets us free. Find your love and set yourself free. I hope this helps someone on their journey to discover their love within. If you have any feedback or would like to comment, please do so below. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and feel free to share this if you know someone who may benefit. Thank you for listening. Love is the answer.